this is the last guy I want to talk about. He's John Bogle, who is another one of my heroes. I don't know that it matters if he's a hero or not, but John Bogle, who I think has some association, David, with the is on your advisory board, and when he was at Princeton, he had to write a senior thesis in 1951 on anything he wanted to write on, as far as economics, I guess it was, but he wanted to write on mutual funds, and there weren't that many mutual funds around at the time, but he came up with two conclusions in his senior thesis when he was 21 years old or something. So for you young guys over there, it's an inspiration. But in his senior thesis, he said that mutual fund managers should make no claim that they can outperform the market. They can do any better than the stock market. And number two, that mutual fund managers should put the interest of the mutual fund investors at the very top. These funds should not be run for the benefit of the owners or the people who are managing the fund, but it should be the shareholders. And again, that kind of brings us up to today. What's controversial about that? Nothing, other than no other firm did it. And so, the mutual funds, if you look at when John Bogle got involved with mutual funds, with who knows what the name of his group is, anybody? The Vanguard Group, yeah, the Vanguard Group. He put in place this, it's kind of a long story, but getting to the end of it, the fund that he eventually ran, this is the 70s. Remember, he wrote his thesis in 1951, so it wasn't until 1975 that the first Vanguard fund came out. And in 1975, the commission, kind of the typical commission on a mutual fund was what they call the load. The sales commission was like between 6 and 8%. That's pretty steep. And John Bogle would say, that's like starting a 100-yard race, and you start at yard 108. I mean, you're way, way behind. You're not going to win that game. And the management fees, what is charged for running those funds, was typically 2 or 3%. So this is a real fast forward, but nowadays the Vanguard, there are a couple things about the Vanguard fund. One, they are very, very cheap. You can buy for what, 5 to 10 basis points. That's a basis point is 1% of 1/100th of 1%. So these are managed very efficiently and low cost. There's no commission. They're what are called no-load funds, and so he, like, in my opinion, he, like Charlie Merrill, is treating the customer very, very well, and it shows off. So it eventually, when he started his first fund, he got an investment firm down here, Dean Witter, whose name you probably don't know, but Dean Witter was a major investment firm at the time, and Dean Witter said, well, we'll try to sell this fund. Oh, I have to tell you this, that we're not going to try to beat the market. We're going to go back to what John Bogle was thinking when he was a senior at Princeton, is that you really can't beat the market. No, maybe Warren Buffett could beat the market, but the average kind of person just is not going to do it. So why should we do it? Doesn't mean you should not invest in the stock market. Big lesson here. Stock market is a source of great wealth over a period of time. Owning equities, becoming an owner in American business really pays off. So much more, you can build up so much more for your retirement or whatever nest egg you have, investing long-term in the stock market. So there should be a vehicle, but it shouldn't be exorbitantly expensive. You should be able to do, and investors should be able to do that without paying an arm and a leg. So he created this fund, which was an index fund. So rather than having rooms full of very bright MBAs from the best schools, paying them a lot of money and trying to figure out how to beat the market, which they never did, said let's just have one guy with a computer and mimic some index like the Standard & Poor's index. And that's what an index fund is. You don't try to beat the market, you just try to do as well as the market. And so last year, I should know these statistics, but I think Vanguard is now close to $3 trillion of assets under management, mainly index funds, 100 or so different kinds of index funds. But in 1975 and 1976, when they tried to launch the first index fund, Dean Witter committed to $130 million to raise that fund. They raised a total of $11 million. People thought it was ludicrous. The head of Fidelity, a guy named Ned Johnson, said, you can't tell me that investors want to invest with the goal of just being average. And it was called Bogle's Folly. This is crazy stuff. And ludicrous was the word that always kept coming up. And it took a while, But eventually, people said, this can really work. This works for me. I can see the value of my investment over time, and I'm not paying all those fees. And now, I think last year in the amount of money dedicated to mutual funds, new money, over half of it, I'm saying stuff I'm not really sure about, but I think over half of it was in what are called passive funds, not actively managed, but passively managed index funds. So it's been a phenomenal success, a wonderful thing in my opinion for the shareholder, for the investor. And I think one of the reasons that so many people now are investing in the market because they have the confidence. I should say that one of the reasons is because we had the sea change in pensions. So now, rather than most of us having defined benefit plans, without getting too wonky here, we have defined contribution plans. We're on our own. We have to through a 401k and other 403bs and all these things, we have to provide for ourselves and invest for ourselves and make those decisions. But in my opinion, the timing with Vanguard is so wonderful because it's such a low-cost, effective, sensible kind of product for somebody who wants to build investment value.